Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for another quick episode today. Going to take a look at another pickup in my effort to collect Connor McDavid on a budget. And that sounds a little bit tough, and it is. He is the best player in the modern NHL, is wildly popular as a result, and deservedly so. And he's definitely gaining traction in the hobby. I've noticed, especially over the course of the last year or two, as everything's kind of gone nuts, that collecting McDavid has gotten pretty difficult. But what I'm still able to do, and I think is kind of fun and challenging to do, is to track down cards of his that may not be rookie cards or anything super significant in that sense, or even expensive, but that have appeal and kind of room to grow in the hobby, in my opinion. And today's card is an example of what I mean by that. So was able to pick this one up on eBay for just on a best offer, and got it for just $10, and then $1.99 shipping, which was very reasonable shipping charge. It's a card that I've been attracted to for some time now, and it is this short printed Connor McDavid. This is from the 2019 Upper Deck hockey release. And in that set, they did a 30 years of Upper Deck insert set where they featured a player. It was either Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid, or Patrick Waugh. There were 10 cards of each player, and they spanned the design of the Upper Deck flagship hockey set every year from its initial release in 1990 all the way up to 2019, which was the 30th anniversary. This card was a short print, or maybe even a super short print. I don't recall. So it's actually numbered UD30-0, whereas the actual insert set is UD30 1 through 30. So this was a tough pull to come by compared to the other inserts. I do not know what the insertion ratio was for these short prints, or if that's anything that's even publicly available, but I can tell you they're certainly nowhere near as plentiful as, the standard 30 cards in the insert set. Not impossible either, at least at this point, although I could see them drying up. I was able to grab this one, and I think I even have a couple other copies of this that I grabbed on ComC for under $10 as well. But I expect these to dry up and disappear. And the reason I think this card is just too cool is obvious. So this is done in the 1989 Upper Deck baseball design, which obviously, in one sense doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a hockey card, but in another it does, because it obviously draws its inspiration from one of the most iconic baseball cards ever produced, certainly one of the more iconic modern baseball cards, the 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. And you can see here, looking at these side by side, Upper Deck did a fantastic job replicating the original 89 Griffey with the young, sort of excited, naive looking, super talented Griffey with his cap on, smiling and kind of ready to greet his career in Major League Baseball. And in the same sense, Upper Deck really replicated that here with Connor in his jersey, presumably on draft night with his tie on there, and the Oilers cap, very similar photo at a very similar angle, a very similar young, promising athlete who was about to take the world of sports by storm. And, obviously this Connor McDavid will never be an iconic card like the 89 Upper Deck Griffey is, but I see a lot of promise and potential for this card as McDavid goes on to be, one of the most successful players in the history of the National Hockey League, which I fully anticipate that he will. This one is just going to be a really nice look back and a nice tie to the iconic 89 Griffey. So bang up job by Upper Deck on this. Even the backs, obviously there's a photo here on the McDavid, whereas there was a write-up on the Griffey, but the bars on the right with the vital statistics and information are sort of similar. The back layout overall is very similar. And so this is just a very nicely done card. And I think a sneaky good and potentially important card in hockey card collecting just because of the parallel here to the 89 Griffey. So that is my latest Connor McDavid kind of bargain pickup. It's just, another example that even if you want to collect the absolute GOATs in the game, as long as you're willing to be flexible and sort of cast a wider net and do some research and become informed and hunt out deals, you can still collect even these caliber of players on a budget, especially when it comes to hockey cards. It's one of the reasons I really enjoy collecting hockey. I can't really collect a whole lot of Mike Trout because there's just a lot of people out there that collect Mike Trout, and you're priced out relatively quickly. But in the world of hockey, it's getting more popular for sure, especially in the last year, but there are still a lot more deals out there like that. So there's a card that I believe in. Really happy to have that one in the collection for just $10, and will always kind of remind me and in spirit of that great Ken Griffey Jr. And I will probably display them side by side here at the home office in my card room, and it just makes me smile to look at that one. So bang up job by Upper Deck. I appreciate everyone who stuck it out here and listened to me gab on for 6 minutes about Connor McDavid and parallels between modern hockey and 30-year-old baseball cards. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody out there is enjoying the hobby and enjoying collecting, and I'll certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Till then, take care.